Good morning, welcome to Wishwell Farms. I'm Jason, and I've been growing tomatoes in this greenhouse for 25 years. But this season, we're trying something new. So behind me, there are 200 Dutch Bato Buckets. Traditionally, we would put 2 indeterminate greenhouse varieties in each bucket, giving us 400 plants on these 2 rows. But this season, we are going to be trialing determinate tomatoes, the same varieties that we plant out in our fields on raised beds with drip irrigation in the soil. Staking tomatoes. They're probably only going to grow about 4, 5, or 6 feet tall in here. Unlike these, which will grow 20 feet in one season in our greenhouses. So to figure out which varieties will do best for us, we have decided to trial 10 different varieties on these 2 rows. So each variety will get 20 buckets. We're going to be putting 1 plant in each bucket instead of 2 because they will bush out a lot more than these. So 1 plant per bucket, 10 varieties, each variety with 20 buckets. We're just about ready to start transplanting, but a few of these buckets didn't quite have enough perlite in them. Sometimes when you rip out the cube in the fall from the prior year, it takes a lot of the perlite with it because there's so many roots down in there. So the ones that are missing some of their perlite, I'm just topping them off. But most of them have enough that we don't need to add more to it. And as I say that, 5 in a row need some. Emma is currently bringing the plants in. Just have 5 flats, and there's 50 in each flat, which means we have 25 plants for every 20 buckets. So we'll have 5 plants left over from each variety, just in case we need a backup if some of these happen to, just not grow normally. We'll have a few extra on hand. All right, we're gonna finish filling the buckets with perlite, bringing the last flat of tomatoes over, and we'll begin the transplant process. All right, we are transplanting. I have done this before in 1 row of our small house, our little house, the one that I am trying to sell for next year. It's 21 feet wide by 96 feet long. We did 1 row in there, 3 years ago maybe, and we trellised them up using our string trellis system, and it was a disaster. So these will be trellised up using the Florida weave. So we're just taking our little hand spade here, and I'll show you this up close in a minute. Digging down in there, making a little hole just like we would in your garden. Simple. This variety here is GTO. Which variety are you planting? Red Deuce. Emma has Red Deuce. So like I mentioned earlier, every 20 buckets has a new label. So this one's GTO, and I'll go over all 10 varieties with you before the end of the video so you know what we are trialing in our greenhouse this year. So some of the buckets I had to top off with new perlite, and those are going to be the more difficult ones because the old perlite, you can kind of stick your spade down in there and open it up and it's almost like soil. But the loose perlite keeps falling in to the hole that you're making, so you got to kind of pull it apart and stuff your plant down in there quickly. The plants look really nice. They're only about a month old. I can see little buds starting to form in there. They're just a tad smaller than I would normally transplant in our field. We usually like another week of growth on them, just a little more sturdier plant, but since we're in a controlled environment, I don't think it really matters. I'm just ready to get them out of the starter house and not have to water them anymore, get them in here and get them growing. Because this is a trial year, I don't know how quickly these will mature compared to growing them out in the field. And how will they compare to our indeterminates that we planted just yesterday? So they're being planted basically at the exact same time, but those are older plants. I don't know by how far. I'll throw it up on the screen right now. It's probably 1 to 3 weeks difference in seeding dates. So if this trial of growing determinate plants in these Dutch Bato buckets is successful, using the Florida weave and getting good production off of them, we're probably gonna move to using this style of tomato in all of our greenhouses except our very first one, our tall greenhouse, greenhouse number 1. We will continue to use indeterminates in that greenhouse, but all the other ones are gonna go to this determinate style. Those are beautiful, nice, healthy tomato plants. Another benefit to growing determinate tomatoes in here versus the indeterminates is the amount of money that we will save. The seed cost is like, I don't even know, 5 to 10 times less. I mean, dramatically less. And the labor, the manual labor to maintain indeterminates that you can see over there on the other side of the greenhouse, because they grow so long, they constantly have to be lowered and leaned. Because when you're growing plants high density in a greenhouse setting, there's a lot of management. So the lowering and leaning, you have to prune all the suckers every week. We fruit prune our clusters of tomatoes down to 4 tomatoes so they get bigger. There's just so many things that need done to those tomato plants compared to these. So the seed cost and the labor cost is going to be dramatically less growing these tomatoes. However, the nature of the determinate tomatoes is to produce all of their fruit in about a 3 to 4 week time period. Some of them are even known as hot set tomatoes, which means they all come on at once in a big flush during like a 2-week period. And you harvest them all and then you're done, you move on to the next planting. That's how it's done in large tomato operations like in the South and out West. So the problem that we could have is that these tomatoes are going to come on in a big flush too quickly for us to be able to sell them all. That's what's great about the indeterminates. They give you like 1 pound of tomatoes every week from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. That's not the case with this style. So timing is going to be very important with my plantings, the succession plantings. That way they're kind of spread out to give me a good harvest throughout the entire season. So with the determinates, we're doing 3 plantings of them in 3 different greenhouses, and hopefully I have them spaced properly that they don't all come on at once. The 10 determinate varieties that we are trialing this year are Red Deuce, Red Snapper, Rambler, BHN 589, GTO, Roadster, STM 2255, Laguna Red, Contessa, and Carolina Gold. All right, we're just about ready to wrap up the transplanting. Emma is putting in the last several there at the end of that row, and now we're ready to put in the drippers. All right, I have this irrigation line on. Let me show you what it looks like here. That's what we want. You see that drip? We want a constant fast drip or flow, just like that. So there are 2 drippers for each bucket because typically we have 2 plants in each bucket, and each plant will get its own separate dripper. But since we only have 1 in each bucket, we're only using 1 stake and hose and dripper for each plant. So there's going to be an extra one. Every other one, there's going to be an extra one, and we're going to cap those off. There are some plug drippers that we have not repaired. You can see there's some of the hoses on the ground. Those were ones that weren't flowing, like this one right here. So we won't fix those. We're just going to put a cap on them because they still ooze out water a little bit. So we're just going to put the ones that are flowing into the buckets, and then we'll come back through here and cap all the leftovers. Emma and I were just talking about how much easier this was planting these versus these. It was actually enjoyable. So see, this is flowing, this one's flowing, and we'll put caps on those. So as long as we have 1 good one in front of each bucket, we'll use that good one and let the other one go and cap it off later. There's another one that's flowing that's going to have to be capped off. And the reason it doesn't have a hose on it is because the hose was plugged and it wasn't dripping like this. So if it's not dripping when we're testing them, we'll pull it off. So we're just putting the stake right beside the tomato stalk, right into the root ball, about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch away from the plant. All these extra drippers flowing and making a big old mess on the floor. but it'll all dry up. All right, I'm gonna set this camera down and help Emma finish putting the drippers in these 200 plants. Now we're just removing all the extra drip lines that aren't needed, which is half of them. We're doing it carefully not to disturb the ones that are already put in the bucket. All right, we have all the extra lines removed. Now we're ready to cap off all of the unused drippers. All right, these are what the shutoff caps look like. It's a NetaFim product. NetaFim brown shutoff caps. I'll show you how they work. So here's another look at the shutoff cap. And the other side has a little hole with a little piece that goes down inside the dripper. The woodpecker dripper. So just line it up, give it a little push and squeeze, it goes right in. All right, we got 100 drippers to get capped off. Now another option to capping off these drippers would just be to pinch the tube, put a little zip tie or something around it. I think that would actually take a little bit more time, and then I'd be concerned that that would be a weak point where it was pinched off. And if we ever needed it again in the future and we unpinched it, I just think that would kink there really easy. So I would prefer to use these little shut-off caps. All right, we're gonna finish putting the rest of these shut-off caps on. Then we'll get the irrigation going, get these tomatoes fed, and start getting the perlite fully saturated, because it is really dry right now. All right, everything is finished up in here. All of the transplanting is done and all of the extra drippers have been capped off. I'm really curious how these determinates will compare up against the indeterminates. A few things that I'm going to be really interested in seeing is the difference in maturity dates, the yields, the flavor, the overall fruit quality, things like that. And I'll keep you folks posted along the way. All right, let me go show you what's happening tomorrow. Okay, I'm down here at the grape tomato greenhouse. They're looking really good. Really taking off. I can see many of them leaning pretty good, and it's not going to be long until some of them start falling over. So we need to get them strung up using the Florida weave. And that is what the next video is going to be all about, trellising up these tomatoes using the Florida weave. So be on the lookout for that video coming up next. This is where we're going to wrap this one up today, folks. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all again next time down on the farm.